Cafe. Today we are going to be getting our life in the kitchen, honey. We are going to be making homemade beignets. If you are from the dirty South, like New Orleans and Mobile, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Beignets are a delicacy down in this deep South for us. We like to have them in the morning, noon, night. It don't matter. We eat beignets all the time. These things are so delicious. They are French donuts loaded with lots of powdered sugar. So if you're interested in seeing how it's about to go down today here at BAMAGURLCFE, then definitely stay tuned in. Hey guys, so we're back. So we're going to talk about some of the ingredients we're going to be using today to make these homemade beignets. So the first thing you're going to need to need 2 eggs, and I like to use brown eggs. You're going to need some shortening, some salt, and you're also going to need some vanilla, some evaporated milk. You're going to need lots of flour. You're going to need some sugar. You're going to need water. You're also going to need a thermometer to make sure that the water is not too hot so it does not kill the yeast. And you're going to need 1 package of dry active yeast. You're also going to need a deep fryer or a cast iron skillet with a lot of cooking oil. So I'll be back in a second to show you guys how to get started making these homemade beignets. Okay guys, so we're back and we have our water that has been heated up, and you want to make sure your water is between 105 and 115 because if it's too hot it will kill the yeast. So you're going to go ahead and pour the water into a bowl. Then you're going to go ahead and add in the dry active yeast. Make sure you add all of the dry active yeast into the warm water. Then you're going to add a few pinches of sugar. And the reason you want to do this because the sugar is going to help the yeast to take off. And then you just want to give it a good mix up. And then you just want to make sure you just mix it in really well. And then at that point you want to let this sit in from 8 to 10 minutes until the yeast has bloomed. Hey guys, so we're back, and right now our yeast and water has already started to bloom. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and we're going to beat our eggs together. And we're going to go ahead and add in the rest. And we're just going to give this a good mix together. Now you can use a stand mixer or hand blender if you have a bread hook, but I don't really think that is necessary. So I just like to give this all a good mix together and get the eggs and the sugar incorporated in really well. And then you need to go ahead and add in your whole can of evaporated milk. And I like to use the canned milk. You can make your own evaporated milk, but that takes a little bit too long. So just go ahead and buy this stuff in the store. So I'm going to give this all a good whisk together. And I just want to make sure that the eggs and the sugar have all mixed in very well with the condensed milk. So now that we have this done, we're going to set this to the side. And we're going to go ahead and start to add in half of our flour to this bowl. Till we get it all mixed into the right consistency. And you just want to add in a little bit at a time. And when you're using yeast You never want to add the salt on top of the yeast and the sugar. You always want to get most of your ingredients mixed in, and then you want to go in and the salt. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take half of the mixture with the eggs, the milk, and the sugar, and we're going to go ahead and pour it over in there. And we're going to set that to the side for a second, and then we're going to take the shortening and add it in with the condensed milk and the sugar, what's left in the bowl, and you're just going to break it up. Because you want to make sure that it gets broke up into small chunks before you add it into the flour. So you can see right here that it's all mixed in. And then we're going to go back and we're going to add in, finish mixing in the eggs and the milk and the flour. And this is really sticky right now, but it is going to come together. So we're going to add in a little bit more flour. And at this point, you're going to start to mixing with your hands. And this is a very sticky batter, so you need to be prepared to make a little bit of a mess. Woo. Sorry, you guys, my sister's calling me. So now we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of the mixture that has the shortening and the rest of the egg mixture in there. And we're just going to keep giving it a turn, and then we're going to add in the rest of the flour. And once you get this all mixed in, we're going to take it and we're going to put it on the counter and we're going to knead it. And it's almost mixed together. And like I said, this is a really sticky dough. And if you've ever made bread before or pastries, you'll know that sometimes the dough is sticky. But don't be afraid if the dough is really sticky on this one, because it's going to be. Because these are a very light puff pastry. And your arms are going to get tired, so be prepared. So once you see it starting to come together, as you can see right here, you'll know that you've done everything the right way. You just want to keep mixing it and make sure you get everything mixed in really well. I'll be back in a second when I show you guys how you want to go ahead and knead the dough. Alright guys, so now we're back and we're going to go ahead and get ready to knead or whatever surface you're going to use. You want to make sure you put plenty of flour down. Then you want to get some flour on your hands so that the dough doesn't stick. And you want to just take it and put it on the counter. And this dough is going to be really tacky, so don't be afraid. And we're just going to knead this for about 3 to 4 minutes, because you don't want to knead it too long or it will start to get tough and your beignets will not be soft. So what you want to do is start by pushing it and pulling it, and pushing it and pulling it. And as you can see, the more you knead it, the more it's going to start to come together. So don't be afraid. A little bit of the flour and just keep going through the same process. So you want to turn. And we're almost done kneading it. As you can see, it's starting to come together. And y'all, this is a workout. I am over here out of breath, y'all, okay? This is this is not easy. And it's been a really long time since I've made any type of bread product too. So I am really out of shape when it comes to doing this. Alright guys, so now we have it all together. And I'm going to show you how to prepare the bowl. I'll be back in 1 second. Alright guys, so we're back. So since we're going to be using vegetable oil to fry the beignets with, I'm going to coat this pan really lightly with some oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the beignets in the bowl. So what you want to do is just take a little bit and just put it on your hands, about that much, and just rub it around in the bottom of the bowl. You don't want to put too much. You just want to put enough so that the dough does not stick to the inside of the bowl. Yes. And this dough, you're going to need a little bit more. This dough is going to rise really, really big. It's going to sit for 2 hours. Now, because I don't have a cloth, I'm going to just put paper, and that will be fine. But you need to let it poof for about 2 hours. And then you're going to punch it down, roll it out, and we're going to come back and fry off the beignets. So here's our dough. You just want to press it down into the bowl and let her sit for 2 hours, and paste some paper towels on top. You don't have to keep messing with it and checking it and poking at it. Just leave it alone and let it rise for 2 hours, and everything will be fine. So I'll see you guys back here in a little bit. Alright guys, so we are back, and the dough is hooped. It is ready. It is doubled in size, and this is what it looks like, guys. Yes, we're about to have beignets, y'all. So now we have our rolling pin. This is not a weapon, although it makes a great weapon when somebody pisses you off in the kitchen. And we have a little flour, and we're going to dust the counter. And now we're just going to go ahead and remove it from the bowl. And we're going to put a little bit of flour on top. We're going to push it down. And now we're going to roll it out. Okay guys, I'm going to try to get it at a better angle so you guys can see the dough. So you want to roll the dough to about 1.5 inches before you cut it. And you want to cut it out in squares. And y'all, I know I am so short. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to cut it in 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and turn the dough the way I need it, and then I'm going to show you how to cut it. Okay, so what you want to do is turn the dough the way you need it turned. Roll it one more time. And then I'm going to just take my knife and go down the side so I can even it out. I'm going to set that to the side because I can re-roll that. Because you want to make sure they're all the same size. Alright. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut these into squares. So you want to cut the long way first, and then you want to cut them into squares. You can make them as small as you want. Put a little bit of flour on my knife so it doesn't get caught. And these are the size that the beignets are going to be. So that, alright. So now we're going to cut off the next row. And you want to try to cut them as evenly as possible. And they should be about this size.
You're responsible for adding the perfect amount of spice to your sausage.
We're responsible for keeping the smokehouse smoking. We're responsible for making sure every sausage tastes great. And now, we're also responsible for coming up with the commercials. What about a commercial with a talking squirrel? Nailed it. Oh yeah. At our family-owned company, we do things our own way.
Alright guys, we're going to be back in 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting these beignets. And then I'm going to show you how to fry them off. Alright guys, so we are about to get ready to start frying these beignets. Our grease is up to 375. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start placing a few of them into the hot oil. And you don't want to put too many in there because they're going to need space. Alright guys, I'll be back in a second to show you what they look like. Alright guys, so we are going to show you what they look like. So they're starting to fry, and you want to keep basting them with the oil. And as you can see, they're starting to fry. Now when they're golden brown on both sides, they are done. And I already have a plate with a pan with a paper towel ready to go. And once these get done, we're going to take them out and we're going to let them drain for a few minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and fry off the rest of them. Now if you look over here, you guys can see that I have some more sitting off to the side. And if you make too much dough, which these really make a lot, you can freeze the rest of it. So come back over here so we can finish looking at the beignets. Alright guys, so as you can see, they puff up really quick, and you just want to keep basting them with oil. Be really careful not to burn yourself. Like I said, you need to make sure your oil is at 375. And these are done, so we're going to go ahead and take them out. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and place the second set in. And be really careful when you're doing this. There you go. And you want to watch them really close because they are going to cook really quick. And then you just want to keep basting them with the oil so that they all cook evenly. And when the other side gets golden brown, we're going to go ahead and flip it. And as you can see, this is what they look like once they're fried. They smell so good, you guys. I'm going to start, well, that one flipped a little early, but that's okay. You just flip it back over. And you guys, they smell so good. So now we're going to start flipping them because they're getting golden. And we're going to continue doing the basting method. These are so good, you guys. They smell so good. Oh my god. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit all over the place, But I really wanted to get this out to you guys. I feel like I owe you guys some awesome videos for hanging out with me when I haven't really been around that much. But we're going to favorite dishes from home.
Well, basically, right. There's no TV, there's no phone, no content. The outside world is math.
Yeah, so that side needs a little bit more. We're going to start flipping a little bit more again. Oops, that one doesn't want to flip, y'all. Alright. Just checking the other side of them. Alright guys, so these are done. Get one out at a time. Oops, that's the little fat one right there. Alright, so that one's done. And get that one out. I'm going to flip this one and let it get a little bit more golden on the other side. And this is really good for like if you're having like a tea or you're having some friends over and you want to do some kind of fancy. The beignets are actually you know, you'll be a hit, girlfriend. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this process. I'm going to go ahead and finish frying up the rest of the beignets. Then I'm going to show you how to add the powdered sugar to them and how to plate them up really nice and pretty with some fresh strawberries. See you guys back here in a second. Alright guys, so we are back and we are going to go ahead and show you how the beignets look. So they are all fried. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take them and place them in the bowl. They're still warm. Woo, hot, hot, hot. And I'm going to pour in, I'm going to sift in some powder, a lot of it. So you just want to sift it over the I'm about to say donuts, which they are donuts. But you just want to sift them over. And there you go, you guys. Those are what the beignets are going to look like. Isn't that awesome? That is, oh my God. I got to move some of them around. So that is it, you guys. That is what homemade beignets look like. And we're going to plate them up. All pretty with a couple of strawberries, and this is how I like to serve my beignets. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you back here in a few minutes to tell you guys goodbye. Alright guys, so I'm back again at the end of the video. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in here at BAMAGURLCFE. I really enjoyed sharing this recipe with you guys. I love beignets. I've always had a love affair with them, and they have always had a love affair with me. So with that being said, to all of my new subbies, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in here at BAMAGURL. And to all of my old subbies who've been hanging out with me here from day one, I want to say thank you guys for continuously coming back. With all that being said, remember, food is love. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys back here in a couple of days.